What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be talking about Bowman Gray Stadium and whether the track will return in 2026 or not for 2026. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. For the first time since 1971, NASCAR hosted a NASCAR Cup Series race at Bowman Gray in 2025 called the Cookout Clash. Chase Elliott was the driver who was able to pick up the win and victory, beat guys like Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Bubba Wallace, and Kyle Busch in that event as well. And going into the event in 2025 this year, there was definitely a lot of skepticism from people like myself, and I was definitely very skeptical about the event itself. Number one, the short track racing, generally with the next gen car, has not raced very, very well. And we've seen a race at Los Angeles on the quarter mile track, and those races have not been very, very good. But to be honest with you, when the race actually happened, the weekend, the excitement, everything, I was generally really surprised how exciting it was. It was one of the best short track races we have seen in the next gen era, if not maybe the best we've ever seen. And I generally thought the racing felt like an actual short track event, because we know the next gen car generally on short tracks has not been that good. But I think it put on a really solid and a really good product. And I think even with the temperature being cold, people ended up showing up and the event ended up selling out. So I think there definitely is a chance for this event to come back. However, there is a chance that Bowman Gray may not end up coming back as the Clash. There's a lot of talk and conversation currently at the moment that they could be moving the Clash out of the States and moving it down to Sao Paulo and racing maybe at Interlagos in 2026 or inside a football/soccer stadium. To be honest with you, I think they should keep the identity here, but you got to think about NASCAR trying to expand. NASCAR doesn't really have a big identity for the Clash currently at the moment. For a couple years, he had it at Los Angeles. After the first few years there, it lost a lot of its branding, and they went back to an old school feel. And I think that's something to kind of take into account as well on that front. NASCAR's talking about it, though it's going to be a big expense and a big cost for the teams. And you've got NASCAR sitting here and saying, we want to save these teams a lot of money. However, NASCAR doesn't seem like they want to always save the team's money when they make these moves. They've taken away a lot of practice and qualifying, but then they want to make moves like bringing expenses in, like going to Mexico City and going maybe Interlagos or Sao Paulo. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think expanding across the world is a really huge thing. But you're going to have it at a set time, especially with the fact you've got a short window with the Daytona 500 happening a couple weeks after that. So for me, I think there is a chance that the Clash may not end up being there at Bowman Gray. However, I think that Bowman Gray has honestly earned an opportunity to be on the schedule in 2026. Here's my proposal. Why not just move it to the All-Star Race weekend? I think Bowman Gray should go into that All-Star Race weekend. I think having the Clash kind of going in different markets and trying out different events every year or every couple of years, I think that would be it for the way to go. I think that doing and moving Bowman Gray to the All-Star Weekend or having like a short track venture, we go to all short tracks across the country, I think that'd be a really cool thing for NASCAR to do. And I think Bowman Gray hosting the All-Star race would also be the way to go. Number one, you're going to a track that's about an hour or two away. So what would that mean for North Wilkesboro? Well, I've said this for a while. I think we should honestly just make North Wilkesboro a points-paying event. There was talk and conversations a couple years ago that North Wilkesboro was going to be a points-paying event, I think in 2024 after 1 year hosting the All-Star race, but then NASCAR kind of scrapped that and kept hosting North Wilkesboro as the All-Star race because it took so long to get the schedule figured out for 2024. There was some talk about making a points-paying event in 2025, and that did not end up happening. I think a lot of fans like myself want North Wilkesboro to be a points-paying event. Granted, the racing hasn't been amazing at North Wilkesboro with the short track package, but I think North Wilkesboro being a points-paying event around the Easter weekend, if we can't make Rockingham a points-paying event for the Cup side of things, I think North Wilkesboro should be a points-paying event at that front. Because number one, you're staying in the area if you have Bowman Gray during the All-Star weekend, but number two, you're getting a short track race to be there. And I think drivers would be able to go all out, balls to the wall, and put on a much better product than North Wilkesboro. And we would see a lot of that chaos. I think some teams would be able to put on a good show, and you probably would have the drivers use their brains a little bit, but if you've got $1 million on the line, yes, $1 million isn't as much nowadays as it's been in the past, but you have $1 million on the line, I think drivers would absolutely be willing to go ahead and do that. So I'm in NASCAR's position if I was the one running the sport and making decisions for the sport as a whole. I would go ahead and put Bowman Gray during the All-Star race weekend. It's going to be less travel for the teams, and I think it will cost the teams a lot less money as well. You can do inspection at Charlotte like he did, which there's a chance we could see that a lot more going into 2025 and 2026. But I think this is the way it should go for Bowman Gray to remain on the schedule. I do also think there is a chance and possibility that the Bowman Gray does not come back in 2026 because you got a lot of new tracks that might be joining in the future as well. There's a lot of conversation about San Diego hosting a street course race in 2026. I just talked about Rockingham. There's a chance and possibility that Rockingham may end up hosting a NASCAR Cup date in 2026. If the Xfinity and Truck Series weekend draws in a huge number, which a lot of people are really excited about that, Rockingham may end up getting a points paying date on the NASCAR Cup side. And there's even outside conversations from what Pete Stone said a couple weeks ago that Chicago may end up getting a Cup Series date with the rumors of Chicago Street Course going away after this year. So I think that's going to hurt the chance and opportunity for something like this to happen. But if you want my honest opinion, should Bowman Gray be on the schedule next year? 100%. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I was certainly skeptical of the first year of the track showing up, but I think Bowman Gray has earned the right and opportunity to host a NASCAR Cup Series day going into next year, and I really hope it does return next year. I think the track has earned the right and opportunity, but it's all going to come down to NASCAR's decision. NASCAR does want to kind of cater to both sides, right? They want to expand and go to different markets and try out new things, but they've also, in my opinion, when it comes to schedule, they've done a really solid job while catering to those people. They've also catered to the people who want the short track and the grassroots side of things as well. And there's also like national rumors as well about that coming back in the future with the national trying to get a race down there. But I really, really want to see Bowman Gray back on the schedule. I hope it does end up happening, and I really hope NASCAR makes the right decisions here. And I think most drivers have advocated for it. I think Kyle Busch was really for it. I think I saw that Joey Logano was for it. Chase Elliott was absolutely for it. I think I saw Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson. I think all were for it as well. So I really hope NASCAR decides to go ahead and bring Bowman Gray Stadium back in 2026. Again, it will be up to NASCAR's discretion and NASCAR's decision on what they want to do on that front, because again, NASCAR has the final say on what happens with the schedule, and likely we're not going to get the schedule to a lot later. Generally, the last couple of years it's taken till the middle to late end of the year for them to release these schedules, but I really think there's a good chance and possibility that Bowman Gray could end up hosting the All-Star race in 2026. I think most fans would absolutely love to see that, and I really hope NASCAR goes ahead and does it. I really like the modified, where they brought the modified drivers in, and there's also that opportunity as well to get those short track drivers like Burt Myers and Tim Brown again. We know Burt's interested in making some other Cup starts at some point this year, so I hope that becomes something that we do get to see in 2026. So hopefully Bowman Gray makes a comeback. It'll be up to NASCAR decision making on what they want to do. But again, I really hope Bowman Gray does come back in 2026. I hope they decide to bring it back in 2026. So that is going to be today's special video on Bowman Gray Stadium. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go into all of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. Do you think Bowman Gray Stadium will return to the NASCAR Cup schedule in 2026 or not? If not, why? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, I'm going to be doing my bold NASCAR predictions for 2025, talking about All-In Cup, Xfinity, and Truck competition. Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. We're going to have content on people like Shane Van Gisbergen, Haley Deegan, Carl Lurz, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, other people in the sport like Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain, Trackhouse Racing, Junior Motorsports, Connor Zillage, Chandler Smith, Front Row Motorsports, the lawsuit with 2311, and Front Row as well. Sam Marichal, the creator, all that good stuff will be dropping on the channel very, very soon. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.